For me, it was extremely important to take a proactive approach when it came to my training. Anything and everything I did off the court, from weightlifting to my hill and speed training to mobility work, was always done with the intent and the purpose to get my body in its optimum prime position for performance, but even more so for recovery. At the end of the day, being proactive comes down to the athlete's responsibility. It's our bodies, it's our choices, and the sacrifices we're willing to make to get our goals. It's not our trainers, our physiotherapists, our sport doctors. They're not going to put in the work and they're not going to get our goals. That has to come from us. Why should we value the less glamorous work? Why should we sacrifice and prioritize sleep, nutrition, recovery modalities, mobility? Why should we do all these little things, the things that no one sees and they really don't need to see? And that's something that I took pride in. It's the boring work that I loved doing. It's this type of work, the work that Alliance focuses on, whether it's strengthening the feet, the tendons, structural balances, all of this stuff is because it leads to a healthy career. It leads to a career where we get to decide when we want to end it, not have an injury take our careers from us. Doing the boring work also brings a sense of confidence. That confidence to know that you've done everything in your power to put yourself in the best position possible to perform is the greatest feeling ever. And so doing the boring work allowed everything I wanted to achieve on court and the places I want to take my game and where my game evolved to, from playing 5 years of university to then elevating it, playing 4 years overseas at the professional level, was all because I took the time to commit myself. I find so much beauty in the boring work, it's ridiculous. And the reason behind it is because I see it as an opportunity to say thank you to my body. It's a way of me giving back to it after I demand and ask so much of it each and every day. So to pay attention to how much I sleep, what and how much I'm eating, to the small meticulous exercises, all I have to do is just a way of me saying thank you to my body. Two strategies that I really utilized throughout my time playing, and even still to this day, post-playing career and the goals that I have now, and putting me in the position of where I want to get to and then some, were really habit stacking and the shift in mindset that I developed. Habit stacking, I started to view my rehab and my mobility exercises that I just saw just solely for performance-based for basketball. I started to, incorporate and evolve them into my everyday life with a morning and an evening routine. And this allowed me to not only perform better, but at the same time, I started to function and move pain-free, not sore, not beat up and wrecked, in just my everyday to-day life, and in preparation for performance. But it was really just that, understanding and starting to incorporate it into a bigger picture type sense. And because of that, I got that much more out of it for performance-based wise stuff. If there's one key piece of advice that I want to leave the next generation, it's to know that our energy is never being wasted and it's just being stored. And what I mean by that is that on the days where you feel that there's no progress being made, that there was a setback, that you didn't get that improvement, that it was for nothing, that's never the case, and it never will be the case. Everything is always for a purpose, and everything is always being stored, and it's slowly growing over time until it is revealed and put to place when it's supposed to be. So that you have to trust all that you are doing and the work that you're putting in, and know that it will get returned to you. The investments you put in will be returned, and it will be a great feeling, and it'll allow you to continue with these habits as well. So please note that everything you do each and every day, it's never being wasted, it's just being stored. And then when it came to the mindset was one of the greatest things I could have ever done for myself, and to dial in and really challenge myself and to improve this part of my game. And once again, big picture wise, how it would translate to post-playing career and help me with how I, attack anything else in life. And that was me understanding that on the days that I didn't want to do it, I didn't want to do the rehab, the meticulous work, all the other things, those days that I didn't want to do it, but still did it anyways, is what allowed me to get that win today, and is what allowed me to get to where I got and to achieve what I did as a player and what I'm searching for post-playing career. And to understand and, fall in love with wanting to do what others aren't willing to do today so that tomorrow I could do what they can't is something that drives me, and is something that once again has put me in the position of where I am today, to achieve what I want next in life, and what allowed me to achieve all that I could in my playing career. So habit stacking and that mindset are two huge strategies for myself that it took a lot, but the return on the investment and how it's continuing to grow is the best feeling. And it also serves as motivation for me to not take for granted all the things that I am capable of. It was only really until I had a few injuries, and none, thankfully, that were serious. But I remember one test my sport doctor had to get me to do was, it was after a second-degree ankle sprain, and all I had to do to get on court, to be cleared to play, was jump 10 times single-legged on that ankle in a row without pain. And to only do it once, to then only twice, and then the next day 5 or 6 times, but still not 10 for about a week. It was frustrating, and it's something that each and every day right now, any of us who are healthy, we could do no problem. So doing the boring work, doing those small tiny exercises, and when we think that they're not adding up, they're always adding up, and they're allowing us to not be put in that position where we have to be reactive and kind of find our way back from an injury. So the boring work for me is all about giving my body thanks, but also motivation of I never want to be put in that position where I'm not capable of things that I know I'm capable of doing. And it's the little things we tend to overlook, but by emphasizing on the boring work, we kind of shine the spotlight onto that. And that's why it's so important to value this work, especially when we want to have a long, sustainable, and healthy career.